Greetings to you all, to those who are joining. You can share the live stream as you are coming in. Greetings once again to my honorable brothers and sisters who are Aboriginals, and greetings to those who are Moors like myself on this live stream. Share the live, share the live, share the live, share the live. This evening show, and I'm pretty much sorry of coming to you late. I was expecting to start at 7:30, but I had a little bit of hiccups starting the show. So, as you're now joining Share the Live, let that person know that Dr. Matthews Bay Unfiltered is live. And tonight's topic is basically one thing: let's talk politics. If you say I have my phone set up right close to the mic, to those who want to call in, the numbers are at the bottom of your screen. WhatsApp calls only. To those who are joining, WhatsApp calls only. So share the live, and let's talk politics this evening. I think I gotta adjust this system here. Just hold a minute, please. Okay. Good. All right. Yes. Yes. So greetings to you once again. Greetings to you once again. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Yes, I think I made some adjustment there. Yep. So this evening we're going to talk politics, and such a conversation requires a healthy response from those who are now joining. And I would implore that you join the live, not only join the live, but be a part of the conversation. Hold a minute, please. Yes, be a part of the conversation, and be a part not only of the conversation, but be a part of the solution process. That we're trying to put forward here. So let me set this thing properly. Good. Realize. Good. Okay. I think I'm having a bit of a problem. To those who are watching, just hold a minute for me, please. I gotta reset this. Okay, it looks like I'm up and running. All right. Okay, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Looks like I'm up and running here. Good. Okay. Yes. So we want to talk politics this evening. And in the politicking, in the conversation, we want to discuss the actions of the People's Progressive Terrorist Party and its minions. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to listen to the Caribbean Court of Justice on arguments of who and what an elected member is of the National Assembly. And the argument again as the list of representative. One of the basic arguments of the case that was put forward by the APNU, as I presume, is that they were talking about proportional representation within the parliament and who can be recognized as proportional representatives within the parliament. And I listened, I somehow or the other, I was actually scrolling on YouTube and was able to view the court proceedings. I didn't even know that the that the I presume that members of parliament was challenging the attorneys generals or the attorney general, sorry, or the government of Guyana based upon a decision that was handed down by the appellate courts about the legal representation within parliament as parliamentary secretaries who does not have the same privileges as elected members of parliament, whether or not the parliamentary secretary comes from the list of elected members. And they were quoting sections of the Constitution. They were quoting the Representation of the People's Act. And surprisingly, they were quoting that. And Mr. Mendez, who represents the de facto regime of the PPP, was arguing that whether or not an elected member is either a parliamentary secretary or a member of parliament that was sworn into that office. At the end of the day, he or she is elected and comes from an elected list. You know, it kind of bothers me a bit. And why do I say so? Is because apparently the government of the Corporation of Ghana is trying to interfere with, as I say again, the government of the Cooperative Republic of Ghana is trying to interfere with the electoral process within the Corporation of Ghana from the Constitution, because they're challenging the Constitution at the Caribbean Court of Justice now. They are challenging the Constitution. You know, it's sickening to know that the Guyanese people are just there sitting down and not paying attention to what is going on. These people are actually taking away your electoral rights to choose. And there are different points in time that you had to choose. You know, it's difficult to say that, but there are different points in time that you had to choose. Now you're required to choose from a list, and that list is a representation of the party, whilst at that electoral process. And right away, it brings me back to the local government authority. Because if you elect the council of your choice to represent you at the local authority, the local level, why should the minister say to those elected members that they're not required to speak on behalf of you? Only the minister can do that. And the minister was never elected by you. And they were quoting sections of the Constitution, and it brought me right back to this particular point. Why is it that the electoral process is now being stymied by the governing party? Because they would now see, by all due means, that at the end of the day, even if they hold regional general elections, they cannot win based upon a proportional representation, because a proportional representation must require that these votes must be valid. And what is the validity of the votes? It's specifically stated in certain sections of the Constitution and as a representation of the People's Act, how you can and will be elected. Specifically say that. Now to my comprehension, they're trying to erase that process. They're trying to take that process away from you. So you can never enjoy the benefits of having a representative that was elected by you to represent you. You already get where I'm coming from. I'll show you a simple example. A village, an area, or a community has representatives, and those representatives are elected by the people of that community within the local government body or within the local government election. Now, if the party that is the representatives or the council that represents the people as from a particular political party, and the PPP is in the central government like where they are right now, This is what they do. Look at the style. They don't come into the village and engage with the local representative or the representative of that village or representatives of that village council. They go into the village, they engage the residents, and then they do what they feel like. And at the end of the day, they say that they went, they engaged the residents gave them permission to do blah, 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 sheep party anymore. Stepping and pushing aside the local representatives, it is like they don't mean anything because at the end of the day, I control the budget. We control nothing. So they keep on breaking laws because these are laws. At the end of the day, they are. But they keep on breaking the laws to satisfy their greed. But if you, the people who I'm speaking to right now, don't comprehend what I'm saying, don't comprehend the easiest way forward, you're going to find yourselves in deep waters. Because here is it that you're whining and getting on bad. You're going on board is cruise ship and you're going to cruise and you're going to drink and you get drunk and you might fall overboard. And nobody can find you. And you're enjoying yourself according to my good friend, my learned friend, you're Peter palavering yourself. Whilst that is being done, Barajagdeo and his minions are before the courts trying to take away your rights. Believe you me, before the courts, his minions are trying to take your rights away. Y'all be careful. These people are wide awake. You could imagine nobody knew and heard about this particular case. I don't even know what's the case. I'm being honest. I don't know what the case that is before the Supreme Court of Justice is all about. I'm trying to ascertain the reasoning of why they are actually challenging the Constitution in such a terrible way. I'm trying to ascertain why they're doing that. Why are they challenging? And I presume that challenge, I presume that the challenge of the ruling, they're challenging a ruling. And they have it before the Supreme Court of Justice, and the ruling is based upon members of parliament and elected members of parliament. These people are trying their best to break all the laws. One of the most dangerous things that they're trying, and let me be honest with you, they're trying it, and it's kind of working because nobody's objecting to it, is that you have a senior minister within the office of the president with responsibility of finance. And you have nobody that is senior to operate within the Ministry of Finance or to operate as Minister of Finance. Is that what you're telling me? Well, then if you're saying that to us, well then the guidelines and the laws within the Constitution and the representation of people's acts makes no sense. Because you're willing to flaunt the laws. I want to engage you in this conversation today. And if you may call in, I don't mind. Uh, the thing that hits the most to me is that the collaborated effort to take away your voting rights, your constitutional rights as a people by the PPP, the collaborative effort to create strategies to prevent you from voting, to prevent you from being elected to the position as a representative on behalf of the people. I think in that case also too, they were arguing qualifications and what qualifies you to become a representative or a member of parliament. It is simple. What qualifies you is that the people votes for you. That's your qualification. To those who doesn't know, because the people vote for you, that becomes your qualification. Because they actually trust the style in which you govern, maybe by yourself, or maybe in the community, and they realize that that governance needs to be on the platform right now as you speak. In standing up to these different types of malfeasant practices, we have to much or more or less identify them, because this now is becoming a trend. Little by no notice, they go before the courts, they challenge the courts based upon decisions that they think that they can override, or they think that maybe Justice Saunders, the present Supreme Court of Justice, can squeeze a little here and there, so they can gain a little here and there. And that's fact. But it's to recognize all these dangerous practices. We got to sit down and pay attention to what's going on around us. I am telling you, tomorrow, which is 1st of August, or this weekend, in which to me it's one of the longest, one of the holiday weekend, that there's going to be a lot of consummation of alcohol. There's going to be a lot of vibration, gyration, gyrating, and people wouldn't have time with what's going on. They won't have a clue in what's taking place within their own country as a corporate republic. Brothers and sisters, it's appalling to see all these things that are happening, that are taking place, but nobody tends to highlight the issues that is before them, and it's something that I would continue doing, because we tend to have a labor policy, and then we tell ourselves, oh well, maybe this one man can do it, maybe this one man pays attention, maybe this one man, no, it's not maybe that's or that one man. What happens if the one man is not around anymore? Who takes over that one man's position? You already get me? It's not being dependent on one man, it's not being dependent upon yourself. Notice what's going on in your communities. Notice what's going on around you, especially those who are the NDCs. Take a time out, step back, and look. The PPP follows by a pattern. And if you don't get the drift of that pattern, you're going to be left right there. The destructive part about this pattern is that the people who suffers the most are the people, the so-called black people, the Aboriginal people. I was looking at Mansour Nadir today, Speaker of the National Assembly, on the floor with his well-dressed African outfit. He should be ashamed of himself, because they oppressed black people that they are now claiming to be representatives of, because of proportional representation. That's how far they gone. They want to show the international community that well, they're well informed about your religion, well informed about your culture, they're well informed about you. So they're willing to add that to the archives to say that this is what we have done for the black people of society. It's difficult to sit down day by day and give witness to this tyrant. It's really destructive. Not only to us or to yourself, but to anybody who sits down and listens to the kind of garbage or see the kind of destructive manner in which they govern the corporate republic of the Y'all take heed. It only sounds so nice. The elections is right around the corner. And they're waiting to see what happens in the US. They're waiting to see what happens in Venezuela, in the US, to make their moves. It is a dangerous game. It's been what, 3 years to sit and give witness to the destructive, oppressive manner and racist manner in which he governs and rule this country. It is so sickening. You kind of get sick to see this is what your community is turning into. These are the kind of people it's breathing into society. These are the kind of people bringing the wrong types of culture into your community, and they're pushing that narrative, and they're pushing that narrative all the time. So you can be identified as a thug, you can be identified as a nigger, you can be identified as an African, you can be identified as black. Because you ain't got no other race to be identified as, so all your privileges are now dictated. You now got to look to a platform or a foundation in which you're much or best secure in to raise these points. I'm saying that to say this to you, that be vigilant. Be vigilant. It's important enough for you to be vigilant of what is going on around you. Take a step back and take your time. Take that one step back. Take your time, look, be observant. See the steps that they're making, and they're making these steps through your own people. Little by little, inch by inch, they're taking up that space. Just on you, not a space of your own. It's not only destructive to know that they're taking that away from you, but it's destructive to know that you're sitting right there, you're seeing it, and then you can't do nothing about it. That is destructive. It's, I want to put it in a better word, it's racist, it's oppressive, and the PPP is a dangerous element. It's cancer. It needs to be weeded out. It needs to be weeded out. And a little situation to see going on in Venezuela, this is what I want to tell people. All the mass exodus that you're seeing by the Venezuelans going to different countries, and you want to blame the government, take steps, notice what's going on. It's on YouTube, just type in the information, and it's going to tell you the Venezuelan government or the Brazilian government has survived 4 coup attempts that they were They were blaming the United States of America for being involved. And when Mr. Guaido was opposition leader in the same US, they tried to push it on the airwaves that Guaido has won the election in Venezuela. Brothers and sisters, there's a time and a place for everything. Tonight is that time that we can have this conversation. Let's talk solutions. Call a number at the bottom of your screen. Let's sit down and let's talk. Invite yourself. Invite yourself to the platform. And let's have this conversation. Call in. WhatsApp calls only. Let's talk what is bothering you on this political climate of crisis now within the corporation of Guyana. Let's have a discussion what the policy is doing to you and the destructiveness of your household. Let's have the conversation what politics is doing to you with the destruction of your neighborhood when they're making these fine streets for two double-lane cars to park. Let's have this discussion about joblessness for the youths. There's no prioritization within the government to uplift the youth from within these different communities. As long as you ain't got color, you don't qualify. So basically saying is that you need to, as a people, create yourselves within a group. See who's your group leader or your community leader and have these conversations and try to be representatives of the ones who cannot or the ones who need help. It is time you start on this particular topic as a people. Hold on. It is time you involve yourself in decision making within the community. You know? Sorry. If you take a look at what is going on politically around you, especially in the US, it realizes that there's a major shift because we did this oppressiveness. You need to rise yourself above. Since when the oppressor loves you, the person who's black? Since when the Speaker of the National Assembly forgets his culture and wear African clothing? Since when you can see the need to get into your head and to you to vote for them because they don't have a constituency? Let's talk, brothers and sisters. Because they know they don't have a constituency to win election, there's no more, as I may say, PPP supporters. They're dwindling. They have left by a huge percentage. They're now the minority within the corporation, within the Corporate Republic of Guyana. And they're gradually snatching at your rights. They're taking away your rights. They're taking away your privileges. They're taking away your culture. They're even taking away your color. You gotta ask yourself: is there anything in this so-called Guyana for you to enjoy? You gotta ask yourself the question: why is everybody looking to take? Nobody's looking to give back to those of you who are black that has worked so hard within the private sector, within the public sector, as slaves, as indigenous people. You got people that come from nowhere claiming your lands based upon prescriptive rights. You got to open your eyes. You got to see the dangers in which it comes from. It's highly impossible for Ali to turn around and say no, that he cares about black people. When it's the same regime when came to power, sent home over 3,500 black public servants. Can you remember that time? Or somebody seems to forget. It's a dangerous world you're living in. And you need to ask yourself, are you in the right place and at the right time? Are you a representative or are you an observer? Or are you want to be the person that wants to be led? Ask yourself these questions. The line is still open. I would love for you to call, to voice your opinion. Politically, let's know what's going on so we can make a difference. I mean, seriously, come on. Take a good look at it. Are you in the right place at the right time? Do you see yourself as Guyanese? Do you accept the situation in which you live under? The current situation that you live under? Because as far as I'm seeing it, foreigners coming into your country that you're claiming to be Guyanese of and occupying your properties and getting bonuses, getting a better payday, and then you're being given a 10-day work period for less than what they're getting. And they're giving them your privileges. Man, look, it's a dangerous game. And what are you going to do about it? What are the solutions that we can come up with in this conversation that we can put forward? I would like to know personally, these are the solutions, these are what we're putting forward, and this is what we're working with. Get up and organize yourselves. See what is good for you in this organization. Organizing is the best way forward. Identifying leaders from within. You need to do that. You need to constantly do that every week. Because this government is so tricky that they come into your area and organize themselves among the people that they brought and say that they're representing the area in which you live. Oh, you know, you want to sit up because you're afraid. But this is destructive. Because you want to say nothing, and because you're afraid, well, by law, because you're quiet, that means you accept the current situation that you're living under. It is destructive. Whether you like it or not, it's not good. Yes, to some people, especially to those his brother, they're looking for a police state. And just so you can't tell them nothing, they're working the way to take this electoral process away from you again. Y'all best wake up and stop jumping the gate to go on a ship to party. Because apparently that is all that is all that is light. We gotta be serious. If you're not serious enough to know certain implications of your actions, well, then I'm very much sorry. And they are wide awake in taking everything from you. Imagine Mansour Deer never saw him in an African outfit yet in my life, wearing one in the National Assembly, representing emancipation, or as you saw, the so-called freedom of the black man, but yet still telling the AFC that he's not willing to put off Parliament for the recognition of emancipation, because when they had the arrival day, the day before they had parliament, that is their business. But that is to show you that they don't care about the things that means a lot to you. They don't. They know what they care about, but they don't care about the things that means a lot to you. They don't give a damn. So the numbers remain the same on the screen. Tap into the numbers, pick up your phone, do a WhatsApp call, and let's have this conversation about the political instability or the political differences in your country and the effect that it has upon you. Because tonight is Let's Talk Politics. I know the time is running out, but yet still you have enough time to call and to voice your opinion. To me, it's pretty much good that way, but it is better for you to call and voice your opinion. The enthusiasm is there, and it's working. Just hold a minute for me, please.